What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're doing well. So I know there's been a zillion trades going on in the NHL. I'm going to save that for Monday. Just so I can prepare myself a little bit more. So this will be a shorter show today, and we'll close out for the weekend. But just want to shout out to Jose Iglesias. He signed a minor league deal with the San Diego Padres. I'm very surprised he couldn't get a major league deal not only from the Mets but from anybody. He hit .337 last year, completely energized the Mets. Was probably the most valuable minor league signing that MLB has seen in a long time, and played great defensively. And he's always been a pretty solid bat-to-ball guy. He was a .270 career hitter going into last year. Always been a great infielder defensively. I'm happy that he called on somewhere. I do think he will be on the Padres opening day roster. He deserves to be, but hopefully the Mets will bring him back. He was a very fun player last year, but he won't hit .330 again. But I could see him still being like a guy who hits .250. And is a good defender. Yeah, he probably won't play as much, but I'm happy that he found the team. Also, Lawrence Butler was extended by the A's, 7 years and $6.5 million. Butler, last year was a rookie, actually played really well, kind of flew under the radar last year at .317 with 22 home runs, 57 ribbies, and 807 OPS. Played really well, only 24 years old. The A's, I can't say Oakland anymore because they don't play there anymore. They're in Sacramento for the next 3 years, and then their stadium will be ready in Vegas, I think in 2028 or so. But you made a couple moves on the pitching side of things. I lose Severino and Jeffrey Springs to your rotation. Now you extend Butler. You got a couple of nice hitters. Him, Brent Rooker, Mason Miller's your closer. If nothing else, they could be competitive in the American League West. I mean, that division's not very good. I don't think they'll be good, but they could be a fun team at least. But they, they extend Lawrence Butler for 7 years. So to finish out, I'm just gonna go over a couple of NFL free agency updates, a couple of moves moves when it comes to roster cuts and trades that happen, and then we'll close out my NFL offseason series, and then that'll be it for today. The Washington Commanders cut Jonathan Allen. Jonathan Allen's one of the better defensive tackles in the league. He did miss a lot of time this past season with injury. Only played 8 games, but he's one of the best pass rushers from the defensive tackle spot in the entire league. First round pick out of Alabama by the Commanders, I think back in 2016. So he's a veteran. I think now he's like 28, 29, 30, maybe 31. So he's a veteran, but if he's healthy, for the most part throughout his career, I think besides this past year, maybe like his second year in the league, he's played there pretty much every other game throughout his career. He's a great defensive tackle. A lot of D tackles available. Milton Williams. You have Hargrave is now a free agent. Now Jonathan Allen's now a free agent. So a lot of big names from the defensive line spot, because a bunch of defensive players available in the draft. Defensive players should have a fun offseason for sure. That saves the Commanders $6.5 million against the cap. Jaguars cut Evan Engram. That saves them almost $15.5 million in cap space. Jaguars are just letting go of everybody, just trying to basically completely start over. New head coach in Liam Cohen. They had a new regime coming in, kind of start fresh. You got Trevor Lawrence coming off that injury. He's obviously got that huge contract attached to him now. They have a lot of work to do, but they do have a lot of money to spend now after you cut Evan Engram, who again only played 8 games last year, but played well in those games and had 114 catches the year before. He's a veteran, but he after his career was really bad with the Giants, being a first round pick there. His career took off in Jacksonville over the last 3 years, and he should be in free agency probably the best time available by a country mile. And I said yesterday that the Jaguars cut Christian Kirk. They ended up working out a trade a few hours after I went off the air. They ended up sending him to the Houston Texans to get a 7th round pick in 2026. So we're getting nothing back. However, that's a great pickup for the Houston Texans. Stephon Diggs is looking like he's going to leave in free agency. Tank Dell probably going to miss the whole year next year. Had that really brutal knee injury. You remember he broke his leg his rookie year as well. So if they get him back, it won't be till the very end of the year. So Nico Collins, they can have some depth behind him. John Metchie, a more second-round pick. Obviously, it's a great story. He's a talented kid. If he's healthy next year, could be a guy who takes a step forward. But outside of him, it's just him and like Robert Woods, who's just past his prime. So this is a really good move for the Houston Texans, getting he's just a legit number 2 receiver behind Nico Collins with Diggs on the way out and Tank Dell probably out for the year next year. Also, Trey Henderson, he wanted to trade, and the Bengals were letting him seek it. He's had 17.5 sacks each of the last 2 seasons. He's emerged as one of the premier pass rushers in all of football. He'll obviously have a home somewhere. He wants a big extension, but the Bengals have a lot of needs. Well, not a lot of needs. They have a lot of work to do. They franchise tag T. Higgins. They got to either sign him or trade him. Jamar Chase wants a ridiculous extension. Also, you already have Joe Burrow's contract on the books. And you have to improve that defense needs a lot of work. The offensive line, he used some help. So, a lot of things going on with the Bengals this offseason. So, Hendrickson possibly could be on the way out. And never know. Maybe get a first-round pick back for him. Maybe take his replacement in the draft. We shall see what happens. But with that, let's close out with my NFL offseason series. Last 3 teams, or the bottom 3 teams in the NFC West this past year. First is the San Francisco 49ers. So, they have work to do. They have just about $33 million in cap space. Obviously, they're looking like they're retooling a bit. You trade Deebo Samuel and get rid of his $18 million contract. You trade him to the Commanders. You're thinking about trading Brandon Ayuk. You just gave him a $120 million deal last year after all his antics, last year, obviously, in the offseason. And then you only played 5 games before tearing his ACL. You just cut a defensive Pro Bowl D tackle on Javon Hargrave. So, they have some work to do. Where their major needs lie, definitely on the offensive line. Trent Williams is still an elite left tackle, but he's coming off a major injury. He's much older now. He's got 2 years left. I think he's only got 2 years left on that big extension he just signed. So, but besides him, the line is not very good. It hasn't been in a couple of years. They kind of have the money to improve it. They're in a little better situation this time with the cap going up. They're moving some pieces to create some cap space. So you got to go out and give him some help on the offensive line, especially if you're going to pay Brock Purdy $1 zillion. Obviously, got to keep him healthy. I got to have an offensive line around him. As of right now, defensively, you still have a lot of talent. Nick Bosa is great. You have Leonard Floyd there. He's a good player. Maybe you get a replacement for Javon Hargrave. Especially since obviously Eric Armstead 2 years ago you cut, so he's been gone for a full calendar year at this point. So you may need somebody else on the inside of that defensive line as well. Second, I could probably use a little bit of help. Travarius Ward's not coming back for a lot of reasons, obviously. So secondary is definitely another need. And you may need another receiver if you trade away Brandon Ayuk, because then you just have Ricky Pearsall and Juwan Jennings. I think Jennings is a very good player. I think he's underrated because of how talented the receiving core is in San Francisco and has been for years. I think he's a legit number 2 receiver. I like Pearsall. He played well as a rookie. Came back after getting shot by like week 6, which is a great story. If you trade Ayuk, you'll also need another receiver. Moving on. Seattle Seahawks. They have $38.6 million in cap space available to them. But obviously, you just cut Tyler Lockett. Also, it looks like DK Metcalf is going to get traded. Not sure where he's going. If I could see him going to the Patriots. It seems like the industry kind of thinks that's where he's going. To the New England Patriots. I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen, but I could see him going to the Patriots maybe for a second round back, maybe a 2-3 or a 2-4. So they're going to need to obviously add another receiver. JSN, I think, could have a breakout year next year. Was very good this year as well. But I think he could take an even bigger step forward because he's number 2 receiver with Lockett getting cut and DK possibly getting traded. So that should be a major need for them. Obviously, you have Geno Smith, who's $38.5 million. This is cap hit. However, he's only got 1 more year on this deal. Do they trade him? Do they extend him? Do they just play him on a 1-year deal? You got to see what they do. I can see them adding to their offensive line. Maybe adding some pieces. I like what they have on defense. They have a lot of young pieces. I think they'll only get better. They got better as the year went on this year. I think they will be even better this next year. But I think receiver, offensive line, just figure out what you're doing with Geno Smith at quarterback. Should be your major 3 needs this offseason. Arizona Cardinals, they have a lot of money to spend. Almost $7-8 million in cap space. They need a lot of help on that defensive line. Last year, you drafted 1 or 2 guys. Didn't really make a huge difference. So you got to go out there and spend a lot of money on that D-line. The 2 guys from the Eagles, Milton Williams and Josh Sweat, I would try and get both of those guys, to be honest. You need as much pass rush help as you can get. They also need, I think, another receiver. Marvin Harrison's obviously incredible talent. I expect him to take a step forward next year. But the rest of that receiving core leaves a lot to be desired. If, a Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson. So get yourself a legit number 2 for Kyler Murray. I think that should be a major need for them. And also, you got to have a better offensive line as well. Kyler, look, I think Kyler's overrated. You know how I feel about him. But he's a very small quarterback who runs a lot and has had a major knee surgery in the past. You got to protect him. You got to improve the offensive line. So, the defensive line, receiver 2, and offensive line should be the major 3 needs for the Arizona Cardinals this offseason. That's all I got for you guys today. Next week, I am not going to do a show next Friday. I'll be traveling back home on Thursday. I may or may not do a show. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Monday through Wednesday, I'll be in the studio. And then the following week, I'm going to be on Zoom for probably Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I probably will not do a show that Thursday, but then Friday was when I'll be back in the studio. I got a couple of things coming up. I got my second mock draft coming up. Most likely going to do it next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, because I want to do annual trade deadline, which is going to take a while on Monday. So I'm hoping Tuesday or Wednesday I do my second mock draft, and then my third one will be in April, a little bit closer to the actual NFL draft itself. And I also have an MLB preview coming to you guys. Possibly could do that Tuesday or Wednesday, but not sure. I might push that to possibly like the season starts in about just under I think 3 weeks from yesterday. So I might push that off for another 2 weeks or so because I want to be in the studio for that. And after Wednesday, it'll be another like 8 or 9 days till I'm in the studio again. So it could be not next Friday, but the following Friday. But I'll keep you updated on that. So keep your eyes peeled. We got some fun stuff coming up. But until next time, so long. Have a great day.